in
Oh, this
three,
one, yeah.
2, 1. All right. And we are live. Thank you all for tuning in. There's 240 people waiting for this stream to start. It's blowing our minds and we're freaking out over here. This is fantastic. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Peter. I'm one of the partners at Unfold and founders of the Dronies Project. I am also joined by our cast of characters and team here. We've got Dave, who is our project director for Dronies and overseeing everything since the beginning. So everything that is coordinated and brought to life and managed is Dave. We've also got Moss, our community manager here on the stream, and she'll be providing some questions and whatnot throughout. A lot of you will recognize her from Discord. And then we've got Courtney, Bo, and Victor, our illustrators here at Unfold and Dronies. And just to clarify, Unfold, Dronies, same team. We're all an in-house design agency, and this is our own project that we're getting to work on, and we're really excited to chat today. I'm going to move chat over to my other window, and yeah, we've fixed OBS. Dave's in charge of that today, but I realized my MacBook was remote connected into my PC, and even though it was closed, it kept re-triggering screen switches, and that's what was happening the other day. So drove me nuts for 48 hours until I figured that out, but it's fixed and solved now. So thanks everybody for joining in and being here. Just super excited for folks to be here with us, and we just thought we'd do kind of a chill, relaxed stream. This is sort of our last day in the office. We're technically in again tomorrow, but we're doing our own team kind of holiday party and end of year event, and then we're taking a nice little break. We'll still be here and hanging out with the community and everything, but we're taking a 2-week break as a company for the holidays, and are really excited. We got a ton of stuff going on, community events and things like that over the break, so lots of fun. But yeah, I'm gonna stop talking here. I'm gonna pass it to Dave, and maybe Dave, walk us through a little bit of what is Dronies, if we've got some new viewers that are not familiar with the project, and then we'll chat a little bit about, some behind the scenes art stuff and process and all things Dronies.
Cool, awesome. Well, hey everyone, my name's Dave. My name is actually David, but I go Dave here at Unfold.
Because you're David number 2, and
I'm
it
the
got
David
really
number
confusing.
2. Yeah, it was super confusing. And yeah, so Dronies, the birds that aren't real, kinda, maybe, not really. We're not really sure what's going on with the Dronies, right? So that's the mystery here. Are birds real? Aren't they real? Which birds are real? Which aren't real? And that's basically the gist of the mystery here. But like, okay, who created them? So we have like these characters that are Stewart, Melody, and Canary, and they're are sleuths who are trying to figure out the mystery behind Dronies. So that's the basic gist of it.
Yeah, if you follow along in Discord, go check out the Dossier channel.
The dossier.
And you can kind of watch this story unfold, no pun intended, live in real time, like a real theater. And we've got different accounts for all the characters, so you're seeing them like have this conversation and experience back and forth, and it's just fun to see how this is all going to come to, I don't know, fruition and take shape. And I say this, I sound like a broken record because we're doing lots of streams and we repeat ourselves. But if it's your first time, we're creating the story very similar to like a TV show. And so season 1 is about to drop through our mint, and that's going to unlock the next part of the story. And there's things to be found inside the collection, and it's just going to be really fun. Like Dave said, who, what, why, what's going on with the drones, what's their purpose, where is their signal going? There's a lot of things to figure out. And I think actually Coach Chuck, I see him in Discord, and he was hanging out with us last night on the Twitter Spaces, wrote this really cool thing in evidence of like, okay, here's everything I've gathered. Here's all the different groups and government entities and organizations that I've discovered. So, and Man, that makes us so happy. That is like literally what we wanted to do. And we want people to go down a rabbit hole that's not right, but see what happens and what fun people have with that, and then get to the correct answers and whatnot. So, it's just going to be really, really fun for all of this to come out and see what this looks like. We're just
Yeah,
super, super excited.
for sure.
And I see a couple of folks asking if, are we on Sol? Yes. This is going to be on the Solana network. So you'll go through, this is a Solana NFT. We're actually working with the Solana team on this project, which is super awesome to have their help and consulting and guidance. And Jordan from Solana is going to be managing our mint. So it's going to be literally the smoothest possible person to run and operate and make sure that everything is done right. So we're really excited to have them be a part of this. And just we've been we're at 80. It's probably higher. It's probably closer to like 8,700 people now in Discord. There's like 7,000 something on Twitter, and we've been growing at like 1,000 plus people a day the last few days. So it's just thank you. This is really cool to see everybody join in and have fun with this. And it's a huge labor of love, and seeing people excited makes all the hard work worth it. So thanks. Just appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, so much. No, thank you.
Well,
want to go through some questions?
Yeah, let's go through some questions. There's some fun ones.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot of fun ones. Who wants to be the question asker?
Where'd you put? Oh, there it is. Okay.
I'll ask the first one just because I really like it. Said the Beast 69 asked why burbs.
Burbs.
Why burbs?
That's a great question.
Yeah. So this came back like many months ago. We always joke around internally of like it crosses a line at times where I've said
Conspiracy theories everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know who's joking and trolling us, and then I don't know who's like a true believer in some things. As Vic throws his hands up, we always have the flat Earth conversations, and the moon landing wasn't real, and we're being watched by the birds, and we just had fun with it. And I think one of our previous teammates that used to work here, and some of you might see him in chat, Levi, he was the one that brought in the whole bird thing, and we just thought it was hilarious. And as we were trying to figure out characters that we could build a storyline around that had the right balance and level of humor, but also seriousness and true conspiracy and whatnot, was just super fun. And there's a lot of other conspiracy theories that might open up in some of the stuff that we do. And again, I've said this a couple times, but this has been a really rough 2 years for everybody, with all the things going on, and just something that is fun and lighthearted and engaging and kind of distracting is really appealing. And so we're really enjoying that process.
Yeah. And just like getting really deep into the story, creating this whole world where we've branded 6 different factions and companies within the world of Dronies.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, a little bit. And we've showed them, and they have like real brand identities, and there's like whole story behind them. They have owners and whatnot. It's amazing, and we'll be like teasing all that stuff soon, I'd say. And kind of expanding the world of Dronies a little bit over time until we mint, yeah. and then we're just gonna go even further, creating the season 2 stuff. So
holy moly, we have so many questions.
Yeah,
it's 80
it's been
something.
super exciting to watch people get excited, because we've gotten so excited, and then it's like, okay, now we put this out into the world, and we hope it works, and we hope other people like it, because we've been geeking out for so long about it. So
yeah, we're like, we think we like this, like we've been in the bubble for so long, and so it's really cool to see everyone else be that excited. Why don't we do like 1 or 2 more questions, and then let's break and like go into some art, and then we come back to more questions too.
Mm-hmm. Great. Moss, take it away.
Oh, there's so many. There's a question from B. Harris. They want to know how much pop culture will influence the design of the dronies.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things. There's definitely items that have made their way into the collection that are in the generative stuff. Like if anybody saw Raj, one of the co-founders of Solana, if you go to his profile, maybe Moss, you can throw it in the chat. You can see on he's got the knife in the beak, and I think we have it in the file that we can show today in that live stream one, Dave. The safe file to show, where that came from a meme of the crow with like a steak knife in its beak, and
that came out as like a joke. Like I think Vic was working on a crow, and I was like, it'd be funny. And we dropped this meme in, and then he made it real, and now it lives on forever.
Yeah.
Where is that? I gotta find that.
Yeah, and we've got the same kind of thing for I don't want to say what it is because I want to give people the excitement to discover it in the collection. But yeah, there's a couple items like that where if you could think of bird memes or images or whatnot, that you'll see that kind of stuff possibly in the collection itself.
I mean, if they look at, you can see my profile with the fries.
Yeah. Let me switch to that.
Yep.
Awesome. Yep.
And then, I mean, additionally, we're doing a ton of custom one-of-ones in the collection that everybody has equal opportunity to get. It's actually one of the things that we're most excited about with Candy Machine 2.0. There were some issues with that process in the past. They're still working out some kinks. I know I was following some stuff that there's still like little things, and that's why we didn't want to be one of the alpha testers of it. We're going to let it run a little bit. But one thing that it does is it has randomization within the collection. So in the past, it literally used to be the order that, like, if you dropped all the items in a folder, it would literally be like, okay, 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. And so theoretically, you could maybe stack the deck and be like, all right, team, go grab yours, and everyone would get the best of the best. Or you could say, hey, here's the link to my friends first, and they could maybe have a better chance at getting those items. The way it works now is that it is true and purely random. So your token then gets assigned a random one within the collection, and that helps that randomization, because that was something really important to us, that we're going to give everybody on our team a mint. We're going to be open and honest about that, but we wanted to protect that there was no guarantee that anybody on the team was like, oh, you're going to get hooked up with this one. We might get the best, we might get the, I'm going to say, worst. It's truly random with that. But yeah, we've got, I think we said we had about 70 completed. I think we're aiming for about 100 by the time of launch, that are truly custom, unique one-of-ones. And we'll show you a couple today that we've built around a lot of pop culture things. And just, we're big fans of TV shows, movies, comics, anime, things like that. And so we've brought in the likeness of a lot of those characters in here to have fun with. So that'll be really cool.
Yeah.
And then maybe that's a good segue. Let's jump into some art,
Let's jump into it. Let me switch my seats. And who do I follow? Courtney or Vic? Who wants to go first to talk about the process?
What do you want to talk about?
All right. Yeah, go, Courtney.
Okay. Sure. So we brought in a generated droney just to kind of talk about like how they get built. What's the process look like? What does the layers look like? We've talked a lot about how kind of complicated this can be. And so I kind of wanted to just like start with a blank canvas and kind of build the one you see on the left. So this one we brought in has like a good amount of the layers that we include. We've got some different accessories. We've got like a necklace, a little chest texture. We've got some glasses on top. So I just kind of wanted to like walk through what does it actually look like when these get generated and how does it work. So we're in Figma here. We start off with our basic template. You can kind of see how this maps over. We've got where our beak sits, like right in the center of the head right there, and then kind of where the eyes sit. This one's a little bit funky because it's got those digital eyes, but you can kind of see where we start. And so this is again, the template for how this gets built. So now we have a full library of all these traits. So you see this wing, we've got a bunch of different wing types. This battery back here counts as what we call a backpack. My cat is jumping on me. Here we go. And then we've got different head types. Like I said, we've got textures, accessories, hats, all kinds of different things. And so you can see as this gets built, you have to get down. This isn't going to work. Okay. We can start to see how it comes together. So the bottom layer is our background, of course. Then we've got our battery that gets put back in there. We don't have a hat, so that will not show up. But the next one is our wing. We've got a body, we've got that texture that comes in. And this is one of the most challenging parts of building these traits, is honestly just figuring out how these layers should come in. Like, okay, I'm going to make a new necklace. Should it go under the head? Should it go on top? Just thinking in this like weird 3D space we've created, even though it's not 3D.
Right, because we have 21 layers. And so each of these essentially stack, right on top of another. So think of layering pieces of paper on top of each other. We have broken our brains at times trying to figure out how do we make some of these things work, and how do we balance it. And there's some items that we've pulled that are awesome, but we're just like, I don't know how we make this work right. So it's a fun process and painful at times to figure out.
Oh, go ahead, Vic.
Oh, sorry, it was back on the leg. It's funny because like for some, I think for hats, for a single item, so just because we have 21 layers, right? That doesn't necessarily mean we have 21 different assets. Like some we had to make new layers, like hat B, hat A, because some hats need to go behind the eyes, some hats need to go over the eyes, some hats have like a back layer. So we have, I think, 3 layers dedicated just to hats. And like that was one thing, like when we started this, we're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be like, like this is a good angle, like, and
the
as
angle
we started we just started progressing. We're like, oh, okay, that's not going to work with that, but this will work. So it's been a lot of like, I guess testing and kind of figuring out what the best way is. And I think what we landed on is awesome, because we kind of didn't really have to compromise too much. We kind of made it work. And so here we are.
Yeah, there's definitely been times where we've literally sat like in a Slack channel, just like not arguing, but like going back and forth on like, where does this item go? How does this work? Should it be behind this wing?
Oh, and the worst is when like one item changes the entire structure of how we do it. And we're like, okay, this has to stay. So we have to redo everything that we did for this column.
Do you remember
what do we do?
When we decided that glasses needed to be split in half? That was oh my gosh. So this pair isn't exactly correct, or isn't exactly the example I'm referring to, but we decided that glasses, we wanted one side to go in front of the beak and the other one to be behind it. And we'd already made like, I don't know how many glasses. And so we just had to spend so much time like cutting them in half and putting them on different layers. So I don't know if you can actually see the layers panel over here, but you can see a lot of like hat back and hat front and eyes front and eyes back. So there's a lot of different, like Vic was saying, one accessory can be in multiple different layers just because of how everything has to line up. So so as we keep going, we've got our necklace that gets added on, and then the head that gets kind of covered up, so everything kind of tucks under that nicely. Let's see, we don't have
real quick, someone was asking, are there any secret Easter eggs that might be hidden in the layers? I don't know that we have ever done a project where we haven't had Easter eggs. Doesn't matter what we build, there is something in there. So yes.
And I'll just leave that one there. There's always Easter eggs. Zoom in. I've left my name on one of them.
Yeah.
Have fun. All kinds of stuff. We wanted to make sure that if you zoom into any of these, you're not going to be disappointed. There's always details. So we've got our head texture there. This one's been run over at some point. We got our eyes that come in. Again, we don't have a hat, so that layer's empty. We don't have glasses on this one or a helmet. Let's see, get to another layer. We've got our wing that comes in, our little beak. And then we've got,
and keep in mind, like, notice all the shadows. And we had to do a lot because certain shading effects like multiply versus I don't know, other things, like some of them didn't export correctly and it caused some problems with the generative stuff. So just a lot of things here, but you know, we really had to pay attention to that, of how do shadows impact different objects, and then again, how did the layering of that work, and tweaking some of them based on different items that they may come on top of and what that looks like. Just a lot of attention to detail in this stuff.
Yeah, you can see a lot of like little subtle things. Like we always have the shadows that go to the edge of the head or the edge of the face. They always fade out a little bit just in case anything else comes off of the side. Like if we have a hat that comes over, or if there's a feather on the back of the head, we want to make sure that each accessory, we don't want to limit an accessory just because the head shape is different. So we want to make sure that everything works together basically. So there's a lot of little subtle things like shadows fading out and things like that.
And that's where that initial template really helped us out, because at first we were kind of winging it. Zing. In a way, you know, saying, like I said, we learned a lot on the road, because we've never done something like this. We've done hundreds of thousands of regular illustrations, but the way you build this out, like, you really got to think of the way it layers. So this little template right here was pivotal in kind of making sure, okay, for all head types, that goggle strap is gonna hit the edge, you know, perfectly every single time. So we had to follow this template like to a T, and that kind of was kind of the thing that really made sure that everything was like unified together. No matter what accessory goes on what thing, they all gonna fit. So yeah, and that was really fun to discover and figure out. So a lot of the learning process of illustrating these and building these out was really some of the most fun part of the project.
For sure.
Yeah,
we have like little markings. Sorry, Peter.
no,
where some of the feathers go and things like that. Like he mentioned the strap on the goggles. This line tells us don't go past this point because one of the heads has a feather on it there. So
and I'm just gonna bring something over. So I gotta find which of the things we're in again. Yeah, where I might come in. Let me just dupe this whole little gizmo down here, and you know, we'll come in. I'm gonna remove this beak, and then that's where, you know, we can bring in one of the others. And this is a great example of like, okay, that beak, great, it works in all there, but now that doesn't work with those particular eyes. And so that's where we get into the DNP or the do not pair list, and we would have to set it where like this beak and these eyes would never be a combination together. But it allows us to easily come in here and change out these items, and yeah, build some really neat things.
Yep. And so for our last little thing, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but you can kind of see the change from this very last layer we add on top. And it's a little bit of a texture we've added just to give it a little bit of like this old-timey film graininess. It just adds a lot of depth to the illustrations themselves, and just adds a little bit of detail and almost like fuzziness to kind of add that vintage style. I don't know. It's a really subtle thing that brings a lot to each illustration.
It's probably my favorite part, and I kind of, you know, was looking for. I love texture, and without it, you know, it looks cool. Like if you hide it, like it's a little like, I want to say flat, but like I don't know,
it's almost too clean.
Yeah, it's really clean, which is a cool look. But you know, so with the whole lore of Dronies, kind of like, you know, these are like these like there's like secret operatives trying to figure out what this is, and this kind of film grain that we've added on here kind of fits with that lore. Like these are like some like developed photos that someone secretly took of a dronie or something like that. On top of that, it also is like a way of just unifying everything. It's like that final filter on top of all of the traits that kind of just, I don't know, like glues them all together and makes it look like one flat completed image, not like a bunch of layers. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's like the cherry on top. It's
a small detail, but it makes a huge difference in the way that the art feels. And that was something that I want to say kind of early on got, because we're like, there's something, it just feels it's too flat. It doesn't and this is where it's fun. And for anyone that's watching that's a creative or whatnot, like this is the kind of stuff to try and test out, because it takes really good work. Like illustration wise, it's really solid, but maybe we say it's a 7 without it, and then we add that tech and the whole thing changes, and now you get that result that you're looking for. So play around with that kind of stuff and see. One of the big things that blows my mind, and actually, Courtney, I was rewatching the speed replay of you working on the Lilo custom, and what's amazing is the way that you all do shadows and shading and lighting breaks my brain. Because that's, I think, one of the biggest things. And as we kind of like zoom in here, let's just take a look at how well this is thought through, that like the lighting is all coming from a direction that, the kind of like, I don't know, nodules that pop off of the arms here, it feels very organic. It makes sense that this item right here is going to have that shading because it's kind of on like the other curvature of the object. And it's really cool to see that stuff. And again, the detail in these is amazing. So
oh, here's our crow. I was following you, we zoomed out. Here's our crow meme we were talking about earlier.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's where the knife, the crow, the knife beak came from.
Yep.
Yep.
That little guy.
Well, and did we clean up this file? Oh wait, we were in a different one. Let me pull over a couple of things.
Yeah, this
I can follow you in the live stream.
This is a safe space.
Wait, don't follow him yet. He might.
No, I'm in a different file. I'm in here.
Oh, okay.
I'll share it with
in the live stream, or
yeah, here I'm going to share it in the illustration channel.
Yeah, I took everything off because I was like off of this page. I was afraid to check.
And real quick, Moss, let me know when that tweet goes out, and then we'll talk about that too, because that might be a fun time to do that.
Will do.
So yeah, this, and we've covered this a little bit on one of the other streams, so I won't go too in depth or spend too much time in this one. I'm just gonna check on YouTube if
it's loading.
Yeah, you're over here, Dave. But this is just a like, honestly, this is like 0.5% of what the real work has been on this, but this is just to show a little bit of like time and kind of maybe case study-ish process of things where, we wanted to figure out what was the feel and style that we wanted to do
for the whole Dronies vibe of like the entire universe. How does the entire universe feel? What does the documents look like? Whether there are style, but also like maybe user interface. How does that look like? How do we tell the story, and through which medium, basically?
I was just gonna say shout out to our brand team, because they're awesome and they did so much to help us dial in. Like, I feel like one of the biggest challenges really early on was like, I felt like we kept getting closer and closer to the illustration style, and then as we kept doing like website mockups and other things like that, it was really hard to get the two to merge. And so we didn't want to sacrifice either piece to make them fit. And so they did a ton of work up front, just finding a ton of inspiration for everyone, putting together mockups, and just did a lot of work on the front end to bring those two elements together. And it was really epic and awesome and helped us so much. So
and frustrating, because if you've ever, like, for anyone here that's a designer, you ever try to brand yourself or do something for you, it's a lot harder.
It's so hard.
And then we did do the like, oh, well, this changed and the color palette changed, and now like we should go change all the things. And we circled around once or twice, but it was really fun. And I mean, I know Dave mentioned, and I'll kind of tease this, of like interface. We've got some really cool things planned for, again, after the mint. We've got a really cool interactive site that we're working on and excited about, and something that will allow people to really feel like they are immersed in this world and a part of it, and it's gonna be cool. I'm not gonna say anymore. You're like, everyone's like, please don't say that. Well, yeah, just kind of wait. Yeah, I was like, can I show this? But yeah, just to even show, since this has been discovered, but some of the stuff that we were working on, and just a little bit of the insight into like the brand team and what we're building with this and whatnot. Just a lot of fun, a lot of exploration, and we've had a great time. And as we mentioned, there's several different I'm just say groups within this universe, and we wanted to create like a really cohesive brand experience. So you know, things that we wanted were like very kind of simple and clean marks, just like you've seen in Dronies and in Talon. And I don't think anyone has found anything else yet. But you know, we wanted them all to work really well together. So we started looking into, you know, things like this of different seals that all have that same feel, more minimalistic marks that are really simple, easily identifiable, have the same weight and consistency, and feel like they all belong together. And I think Star Wars does a good job with that, with a lot of the different branding that they do. And then maybe for the illustrators, maybe I'll pass it off to Vic this time. Kind of walk us through a little bit of like, what was the process like creating some of these characters, and then like how we simplified some of the body shapes and head shapes and stuff like that.
Yeah. So if you follow me over here, actually, this is a perfect little, I guess, little thing. This is, like I said, we have so many files of just like archives of stuff, because you know we've been, you know, really exploring this project for a while and trying to figure out what the best bet was. But yeah, like yeah, there's some cool stuff here, some cool exploration. Eddie did this cool chicken. So you know, we're trying to figure out the style from the start, right? Are we gonna do from the side? Are we gonna do from the front? Are we gonna do full body? You know, more cartoony, silly, like, you know, this was probably one of the first, this one right here is probably one of the first Dronies concepts, I believe. Courtney did.
We locked on these guys for
these,
a lot of stuff.
Ed did one of these. We were gonna go here, and then yeah, we've been through a lot, and then we decided, all right, maybe we should we looked at a lot of the other NFTs in the space and kind of thought what the, you know, all right, what is doable, what is not. Maybe having a full body is not the best bet, because then, you know, we'd have to mess with different legs, different tails, and stuff like that. So all right, maybe we go for the kind of bust, you know, from the bust up kind of portrait look. So yeah, and then we just kind of went from there. Just kept going with these quick sketches, and then, you know, we kind of landed on, you know, this overall style right here, kind of more like a comic booky style, and then with obviously the more chest up kind of deal. Then we started exploring, all right, like what kind of birds we're going to have. So we started messing around. As you can see here, there's a lot of different head types, body types, neck types. You know, heads are higher than some, and you know, we were having a lot of fun and we had a lot of great ideas. But then we came to the realization that, oh man, there's some, I didn't even see some of these explorations. That's so funny. Coca-Cola machine Droney. Then we came, see, then we were like, all right, let's do like different types of birds: toucans, puffins, flamingos, eagles. And, you know, we were using these photos for reference, and we realized that birds are very unique and different. And so we had kind of a stopping point where we had to figure out, all right, like, we have to make sure that all 21, well, we didn't know it was 21 layers at the time, but all these layers of different eyes, hats, whatever, yada, yada, have to match up. How in the world are we going to do that if we have different head shapes, different head sizes, different heights, eyes are in a different place? So that's where we kind of, yeah, we kind of, you know, we had that idea of kind of, this is also early stuff, you know, as you can see here, we had that idea in the first place, kind of, all right, heads will always go here, bodies will go always here. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so that was one of the big challenges right there. So we kind of had to come to the ultimatum of, all right, and that's where that template that you guys saw earlier kind of came and started to play. All right, we got to find a way to kind of make sure that everything is on the same plane, everything is where it should be. And yeah, here's a great example, like right here. This toucan has a completely different head shape. This crow has a different head shape.
Which would have meant if everybody had sunglasses, we would have had to design 3 different sets of sunglasses, but all attributed to the same trait. And that's where, yeah, just kind of getting into the next phase of like simplifying that.
I mean, like this hat would work, right? See, check that out. This hat could work, right? I'll give you an example. Sorry, I haven't been here a while, so there you go. I haven't been in this file for a while, so I don't know the layering right here. So look, all right, this hat looks like it works, but then look at the shadow here. This shadow is completely off. It's hanging off the edges. For this one, it worked perfectly fine, but now for this one, the shadow is no longer lining up. All right, crap, what are we going to do about that? You know, and you translate that to any of these, you know, and the same thing will happen. You know, same thing with this little goggle thing, you know. okay, the nose is completely hanging off that flamingo's face. You know what I'm saying? This is for this one, it was
Kind of
super
dig
derpy.
it, but
yeah, it's cool. So my point is, like that was a huge thing. And like I said, we've never done anything like this specifically before, generating like this kind of generative art. So like I said, there's a lot of learning, a lot of like back and forth. And we made a lot of, like, as you can see here, like, look at this, these are all like super sick, like finalized.
Oh,
almost
I
pieces
love
of
the
art.
parrot. I'm
Yeah.
still kind of like bitter that
We-
that didn't make
yeah.
it in, but it didn't work with having a true consistent collection with things.
Yeah, so that's kind of, like the right here. This is one of the first right here artifacts of that template that we guys showed you earlier. This is one of the first ones right here. And as you can see, we're starting to experiment. We're starting to experiment. All right, cool. If we have this head template, we have the beaks and the eyes in the same place, and you can kind of see it.
Come up here a little bit, even
there.
just us testing like different line stroke weights and things like that.
Yeah.
And as I say this, let's put one of these as a custom one of one in the collection.
Ooh,
Like,
okay.
I feel like we could do that. Those are really cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's so many concepts that we've left out that we could go back. Like this one, it's not part of the collection, but it could be at this point.
Where,
right?
hang on,
If we just like customize it very specifically.
Yeah, here's some early sketches from Bo trying to figure out the styles.
I like these cute ones. They're so good on the left.
So good.
And go to the
I still
left.
want those stickers.
Yes. And yeah, these as stickers would work so well.
Yeah, below.
Like every single one of them.
So
Boom! Here's Eddie's genius brain at work. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, because we needed like where the body always had to be in the same location, and yeah, trying to just figure out the different ways to make this work. It's a lot of different stuff, a lot of different things being tested.
Yeah.
I love
Goodness.
Was excited for Matrix, huh?
Matrix Dronies.
Yeah. Well, and then here, follow me, Dave. We'll kind of go.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
I feel like one of the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Never mind. I just had a random thought. It was like I feel like one of the groundbreaking points to get Dronies to where it is now is when we were trying to figure out the different heads and things like that. We got one head type. I think it was that crow that Vic had made, and we just started making different beaks that were from like a toucan, a duck, all these kind of things, and we started putting them on that same head, and we were like, wait, we can have like one bird head shape and still be able to have these recognizable bird types, because I feel like that was our goal in the beginning, was just to make sure that everything felt so different, every dronie was going to be really unique. And I feel like that was like the turning point where we figured out what was doable to still hit our goal without breaking our brains.
It's so funny because we were, like I said, we were very ambitious, like extremely ambitious, and we had a lot of we have a whole entire design agency here, what I'm saying? So we had a lot of people coming in, like giving ideas, and like, we're like, yes, that idea is great. Yes, that idea is great. And we just took it all the way up there. And there was a one point, that pivotal turning point where we literally just had like, all right, stop, enough. Let's go back to square. What is good? We looked at, like, all right, we're just going to have same head shape, same body shape. Like, we can obviously do some variations, but like, we need this is what we need. Like, there's no other way of doing it, or else it's going to take years to kind of make different assets for these different types of things. And yeah, it just took like it was a little rough, but it had to happen. And now we're here. Yeah.
Well, and I mean, what's fun is as we start to get to see like some of the different combinations and possibilities that we can see within this, it's super fun. And again, just a lot of attention to detail, with everything where, for example, we have to say like this eye patch wouldn't work on top of this, format, or that's like the ski mask here, the balaclava doesn't work with this head type. And so there's certain things there that we have to set like some definitive pairings for. And I don't know, Dave, are you still sharing your screen or?
I don't think so.
Sorry.
I have the stream open. It's just our faces.
yeah, I'm double checking it. It's really cool to see how all this gets put together. And I mean, the hours that the team is putting in, not just on the creation of this, but how do we figure out, again, like, I'll show it real quick since it's back up. Like this mask doesn't work with this head. So we have to set a pairing in there that says whenever this mask appears, it has to be on this head type, and it can't work with other ones. And just all these things, it's super fun to see this come to life, the attention to detail. Again, we always throw a watermelon in pretty much everything we always do. This is probably one of my favorite additions, the Court Was Here sticker. And I know a lot of folks were asking, I think it's in here. Yeah. So we just shared this one on Twitter. So I'm going to go back this. You can go see this up there. This was one that Bo here worked on last week on the live stream, and just awesome to see. What's the command again? It's
yeah. No, outlines. I need to do them.
Like, holy moly, man.
So good.
Yeah.
It is so complex. It's really cool to see that and see what's being built. And Raj, if you go check him out, I know we linked him before. He's got his PFP up right now, and some other members of the Solana team that we made some honoraries for. I think Jordan's is one of my favorites. Again, just super cool, Warhammer themed. We got one, we were showcasing how to do a mint the other day. So we had Phantom Wallet. We're big fans and users of that. So I know we got to tweet that out still and share that with them. A couple others. Courtney had worked on the Lilu one. And then I think Bo, you worked on this one, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think he did that on stream, did he? I don't know if that's
not on stream.
No, that's not on stream.
Okay. All right,
I know, but we shared it.
Okay.
Yeah, we've teased it before.
Yeah, and then some of these sketches that we've got down here.
I did the maybe I can point it over there. The what's his name? Ted Lasso. Yeah, I have that finished. So
that one over.
If you guys were watching the stream, I didn't end up getting that finished because I was talking a lot, and yeah, it's very you get stage fright. Yeah, I just dropped it here if you're following me. I finished that Ted Drono one, so yeah, we got
that's
a lot.
So awesome.
Yeah, it's funny because someone asked earlier, does pop culture influence? 100% for sure. Yeah. We're literally just sitting there what do we like? Everyone here likes Ted Lasso. We're like, well, let's do it. Everyone here likes it. Yeah, exactly. Say less.
Yeah, I'll draw fan art all day.
Yeah. So no, lots of fun. But maybe let's switch over back to the team for a minute and go through a couple more questions from everyone.
Questions. Once you're ready. Well, hold on.
Ready.
Before we step into the questions, you want to make the announcement since the tweet is out.
Oh yeah. Okay, so head on over to Twitter. We are. Let me go to my Twitter so I can make sure I see it and reference it. So something that we thought would be really fun over the break is to do a kind of a multi-tiered contest, an art contest, and something that we've seen in other projects. We get it. Not everybody is a confident or talented designer, or we all have different specialties and creativity. And so we thought it'd be fun to do a big award show when we get back from the break and do a multi-category contest, because we see that where people I don't illustrate, or I could develop something, but I can't do the illustration or whatnot. So we want to do some multiple categories, and we'll put out an official announcement with what we decide those will be. But we just put out a tweet about 15 minutes ago, and we said, what mediums would you be interested participating in for a fan art contest? So that might be drawing an illustration. Maybe it's building something like a web and coding experience, animation, photography or videography, music, a product idea. Maybe it's physical. Maybe you create a physical droney or something. Be creative. But we're going to create a couple of categories, and we'll do the Dundies award show when we come back. And whatever categories we will pick, there'll be a winner in each one, and we'll do a free Dronies mint to each of those winners. And we just want to see what people come up with and create. And so we'll have official guidelines and rules of how to submit it. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But for now, go comment on that post and let us know what kind of things that you would like to participate in and areas that you feel creative. And then we'll share more information about that.
Someone asked, what if you're old with no Twitter?
Hey, I made a Twitter just for this because I'm old and I didn't have a Twitter. So
yeah,
I feel you.
Yeah. No, so super fun stuff. And we've got a lot of cool things going on over the break. Again, we are going to be a little bit less active over the break. We'll probably still do, I'm going to definitely do more Twitter spaces. We might do some YouTube streams or something, but we want to be really respectful of our team and taking a break and getting a true holiday break and hanging out with family and friends. So we will be around, but not necessarily as active as we may have been. And maybe on that, should we make our next announcement too?
Which is what? I don't know.
What is
Our
it?
next
So we have another one?
announcement?
Yeah. We're just gonna give away all the things today. So I was gonna say on the mod side, do we want to do that?
Oh yeah. Well, I did not prepare for that because I was in the meetings upon meetings.
Yeah.
So,
All good. I know we're working on some things for those mods. That way they can rock some cool Dronies PFPs and whatnot. But yeah, we got like 100 submissions for community mods to come in and help. And it's been, first of all, we just have to say, we're not done selecting mods. We're likely going to bring on several more. So if you haven't been contacted yet, we'll reach out and continue those conversations. But we did pick 3 mods that we have seen be super active in the community and really helpful. And part of that was a difficult decision because so many of you have been really active, and it's been honestly a little bit easier than I think we expected to help manage the community, because everybody is so friendly and helpful. And when new folks come in, y'all are, hey, here's how Solana works. Here's how you set up a wallet. Here's where you go here's the information. Here's how you get on the early bird. Like, it's been really cool to see that. And we just appreciate that. It makes things so much better. And something we see all the time is folks say, we just love this community and we're really excited to be a part of it. And that's because of everybody. But we have, like I said, 3 individuals. You'll see some PFPs flip soon. And I don't know, why don't I do it right now in chat? We'll make a little announcement of this, but I'm going to start making some role changes. We have, I said, 3 individuals that are going to be stepping into that role that we've already talked with. And so you'll see them in there probably be a little bit more active as well. So first up, we have Quinella, who has been awesome and really, really helpful at communicating stuff to the community, and really excited. And part of what we're looking for in these mods is folks that are just, again, friendly and really helpful and have already been going out of their way to make people feel welcome and help, give information about the project, and just make that a great experience for people. And also trying to help find some time zones that differ from us. We're going to bring in some mods that are during our time zones, because we might be busy heads down doing work, as well as we want some folks that help us with some coverage when we are less active or sleeping, ideally. And so, yeah, so we've got Quinella as well. Next up, we also have Waxnack, who again has been really helpful, and I think is like breaking the records for most messages on the server, and just super helpful for everybody here, and again, helping out with information. And then lastly, and again, we'll put this in a post in a bit, we have Growth Investor as well. And again, just want to say thank you to all 3 of them. Have been super, super helpful. So you'll see them. They've now got purple name and our little droney heart emoji tagged in as well. So you can help identify them. And we'll see them in the roles panel for our community mods. So we're going to start there. And again, we are going to continue to add more people. And if you're interested, feel free to apply. You can type ! become a mod to get there. So yeah. And then, yeah, let's jump into some questions.
Questions.
I'm seeing a lot of questions on mint price, so I feel like we can touch on that pretty quickly before
Yeah.
moving on to a couple others?
Absolutely. So that is one that we are figuring out right now. And, let's have some discussion about it. Let us know kind of what you think or hope that that might be. So two things around that, and one of why we're not completely prepared on that question, or two items. So one, we were expecting to do a fair launch protocol. That was the original plan for this mint, which is where the community essentially decides. We would pick a range of, what we would hope it would be somewhere around, and then let the community decide, and that median price would be the price that is selected. That actually, well, we've known about it for a couple of days, but that actually just got announced today that fair launch has been completely deprecated. In short, just not enough interest, or we weren't seeing enough change where people would actually modify what the number was in those. And then with Candy Machine 2.0, it really helped to remove a lot of the botting issues. And so, it's just not needed the same way. The other thing that we need to, and Dave, yes, I like that idea. Let's pull that up. The other thing that we need to do is, as we're determining the roadmap stuff and utilities and whatnot, we need to figure out what we need in order to make those things happen. So, I don't want to touch on this too long because I've said this on the live stream last night, last stream, etc. But in short, this is essentially a fundraiser for us to figure out how we can build those next things. If folks want a metaverse experience, we've got to figure out what that's going to cost. We've got to buy the plot of land. We've got to design, develop, create that experience, plan it. And I'm making up a number here, but that could cost $2 million, from start to finish to actually produce that experience. So,
and not just any kind of experience. Like we at Unfold, we don't do something quick and easy. We don't do something cheap. If we're doing something, we're going all in. As you can see with art, like it's been a lot. It's been a lot of hard work, and so like to actually do something that's great, it takes time and takes a lot of effort. So yeah,
definitely. And so, with that, we have to make sure that we build a roadmap that is funded, that we can actually do. Because if we told you guys we're going to build a metaverse experience, and that gets really hyped and everyone's like, yeah, I'm so excited for that, and then we can't fund it and build it, well, then none of that's going to happen. So we're doing a lot of work right now, more from the I want to say like almost business development side, to figure out what do we really need to build this stuff out. Where do we want to start and value the collection at? And so we promise we will have more information on that, but we don't have it yet. But that's kind of the stuff that we're trying to figure out.
Right. And we have a question from number 2. They're asking, do we have a program for testing the generating of dronies? And if so, how does that work?
Yeah, maybe Dave, you want to touch on that one?
Yeah. Let me see. I can show you. Let's see.
But you can't show the link, so
I'm not gonna show the link. I'm not gonna show the link.
Okay.
Let's see.
So this is scary.
I'm not gonna show traits. So let's see. Will this work?
Make sure.
There's some. Okay. But I think we're good. You guys can kind of sneak peek into something we're gonna show a little bit, but we have this app where we basically click and it'll generate Drony for us. And it tells us basically what kind of traits there are, and we basically can select, okay, maybe these tire tracks and they don't really work with this USB house, so we can go and click basically, do not pair it, and click save, and generate again. We just released like a new feature for this, just for us. Let's say we want to lock, I would say a mask, since this is a very specific mask for a Drony, and we can click generate, and it's gonna generate another Drony just for with that specific mask, so we can kind of go and continue click through it and sort of basically.
I'm gonna say let's hold off there before we share any more. Let's take
right. This is just a quick sneak peek of what it is. So
yeah, it's really, really cool, and we're excited to get that out there and show everybody, what that
Yeah,
is.
our
And then we've talked
dev has
about
been
helping
killing
other
it, really.
projects. Cirque is the man.
Yeah,
Right.
he's a
This was
beast,
developed by
bro.
one guy for over a few weeks. I'd say a
blows my
lot
mind.
more than for a few weeks. And just props to him for diving in and creating like a huge generation program just for us to figure out how this art is gonna work, and to make sure that every single Droney that you guys gonna get is gonna just be beautiful every single time. It's it's amazing that we have
When
that.
someone asked, how long does it take approximately to illustrate each NFT? I mean, we spent 3 to 4 months working on the traits and collections. Again, we have, I think, 206 different items or different characteristics that can be applied and randomly generated with them. And then to the illustration team, what's a low number for maybe some of the easier or quicker ones? What's kind of the higher number? Like, how many hours is it taking to build some of those customs?
2 hours, 2 to 3 hours per.
How long did it take you for Master Chief, brother?
Ah,
No.
dude, come on.
I remember that. He's like,
Crazy.
I'll finish this after the stream. It'll be done today. And then like 11 o'clock
It
at
took
night,
you like
he's
12
like,
hours,
I finished
right?
it.
It did take like 10 hours, I think, for that one. God, darn.
Yeah. 2 hours, my butt.
Yeah, 2 to 3 is like the low end, and that's just for the custom one of ones. You know what I'm saying? We're most of the Dronies in the collection, when we release, are going to be randomly generated with different traits that we made separately. But these kind of handful of one-on-ones, yeah, these are custom handmade. We sit in there all night long, Dave whipping us in the back. Get to it.
No, I don't do that.
Well, and real quick, because I see I can speak. A couple of people keep asking, in terms of like roadmap and utility stuff or tokens. Again, broken record. We've said this a ton of times. We are staying away from things that would potentially classify us as a security. And so doing a royalty back to holders for owning an NFT is an immediate classification as a security. Doing you have a token that you stake and you earn, I don't know, I have a ledger in my hand, ledger token for every day that you hold it or something, again, classified as a security. That is stuff that could kill the project and could kill a lot of projects in the space right now. It's really hyped. And so a lot of projects are doing it as kind of a cash grab. Hey, do this thing, you'll get this from it. I mean, you make like $5 a day, a month, or for every, what was it? We said every $1 million, if you were to get 20% back to all the holders in a 10,000 collection, that's like $20 a month. It's not a lot, and it's not worth risking. A lot of exchanges won't even list your project if you do those kinds of mechanics. So we are steering clear of it for now. We're open to that stuff in the future. It's not that we think those are bad ideas or not cool mechanics, but they are unsafe mechanics for legal and compliance reasons. We're working with Solana and their legal team, and they're telling us to stay the heck away from that stuff. So until there's a better understanding of how that stuff will play out in the future, we just want to be careful and run a clean project that avoids those complications, because that's going to get tricky for marketplaces, the project, and holders. So not touching stuff like that. And then, additionally, we want to start prototyping what these experiences might be. So, we're going to like Shark Tank it and say, hey, here's what a card game could look like. Like Courtney and her husband are super into board games and card games and like love that stuff. And like, we're passionate about these things, and we're coming up with ideas that we can then present and go, hey, what do you think about this? And is this something that we would like? And then we can move forward with it. But from talent and capabilities at Unfold, we're a full service design agency. We can build anything. So, we can do some really cool things in the future. And, we'd love to see a TV series happen, a lot of cool things. So again, we want to play this smart. We're not here for an immediate cash grab. We're not like, literally, we're running this project just so we can fund continued development of it. It's not a like, cool, we made money and deuces. That's not what we're doing. So yeah.
Awesome.
Let's pick maybe a couple other questions. I see all of us are in this doc. Anybody want to grab one that they
I would love
they
to
like?
grab one.
Someone is asking how many people are on the Dronies team.
Well, we are 31 people at Unfold, and really everybody has worked on it. But I would say, what is it? There's 6 of us on this call, so 7. I'd say 7 people fully dedicated to this, and then we bring in the other departments when we need, brand stuff, merchandise, like we've been working on that, web teams, development, etc. Like we just treat ourselves as a client and bring in those resources when we need to.
This is not one question that I would like to answer, but it's a really good question. Like it's really sick. But there's a be question that I would like to, but I don't know, and let me know, Peter, if you want to answer this one or not. But thank you for all the work you already put in the project. This question might seem a little straight, but have you guys kept a record of how much time and money you have already put in the project from a business standpoint? Do you sort of do a ROI? Is the money spent a factor of the mint price? I'm just trying to get some background on how a project manager would calculate the costs here, because in the end of every project, it has to pay for itself, or even better, generate some profit.
Yeah, I mean, loosely, yes, that's all good. Like, yeah, we have to pay for the investment that we've risked and put into this and stuff like that. I would say we're probably, compared to if we'd been doing client work, I mean, we probably would have, if we're treating ourselves fully as a client, we've probably put in $300,000 to $400,000 worth of time and effort into this. You weren't expecting that answer.
I didn't think you were going to say numbers. I didn't know you were going to pull up the numbers, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've been working on this a long time with a lot of people, and we're really serious about building this out to be really awesome. And we believe in it that much to do that. So yeah, there was one other question that I wanted to answer. Someone had asked, have we thought about oh yeah, here it is from Everade. Any plans for an event that will allow artists to get their personal Dronies/art published as part of the NFT collection? That actually wasn't something that we were expecting, but I did send a message to somebody the other day and asked them that exact question and their thoughts about it. So yeah, if somebody were to create something, and we might have a conversation, who knows?
Cool.
I want to get some like more illustrative kind of themed
Yeah.
questions since the whole illustration
There's a
team
lot
is here.
about like, how did we come up with the different variants? How did we come up with like what is in the collection? Some of it's referring to the one-of-ones, but I mean, I feel like a lot of it is just what we thought was funny or cool. Like the crow thing, it was like this. I feel like a lot of this just starts out as a joke and as a conversation that we're like, wait, but what if we really did it?
So, yeah, literally. You know what would be funny if we added this? Just 2
like,
hours later.
honestly,
all right, it's in the collection.
And there's like a whole document of stuff we didn't have time to fit in that like we want to make in the future. So it's just a lot of like us goofing around and just being weird and coming up with random things. There's not really like an exact science. There was a lot of talk in the beginning of like, what does this world kind of look like? Is it futuristic? We talked about eras at one point. Do we have like more retro stuff, like World War II era things? There's a lot of talk about like that. And then we kind of decided to go for everything. So there's a little bit of all of the history of like what we've talked about the theme of Dronies to be. There's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and I know someone was asking like any merch. Yeah, we've got a ton of merch. We're a brand company. You don't think the brand team is geeked out and like built out a ton of stuff. We've got a lot of things, a lot of different, again, like brands within the Dronies universe. I saw Rocky was asking what's the total possible variations. It's over. I can go through and do the statistical probability, and then after 500 billion combinations, it starts throwing letters into the thing. So yeah, there's more than that. So there's a lot.
Do you want to show like the current stuff?
The low res one that
yes.
Yeah, Go ahead.
All right. So just a sneak peek. This is outdated a little bit because we've been working hard on making fixes and whatnot and DNPing. But this is currently just generation of, I think, 10,000 drones, but we kept it at 5 of actually generating and kind of showcasing them here and just kind of going through them. And can I just click on some and just like show random ones maybe just to see how they look? What do you think?
Sure, too much.
Just a few. Just a few. Let's pick a random
Man,
one.
y'all watching are really like,
Watch, he's gonna pull like the craziest thing
I
out of
know,
the
that's what I'm
collection.
scared of.
No, I'll pull up clean ones maybe. I don't know. So we got this one. Let's see.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see.
Oh,
As we all sit here
if
like
someone's
super
gonna
nervous.
like, I'm so nervous. Someone's gonna, these people zoom in like a lot, right?
Yeah, but like this is super low res.
True.
Oh.
Ooh.
This one.
Dang, dude. So
All right. That's it.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Okay, bye.
But this is like from outdated tool that we've built. Again, there's a lot of DNPs that we miss. So
I think we still got to tone down that shadow. That's still too
yeah,
much.
exactly.
might
We're
be an
still
older one. We
tweaking.
might have
We're
already
still
done it.
tweaking.
Yeah. Well, and someone was asking like, hey, are we ready to go or whatnot? We've been ready. Like we got some extra time because of the delay. So really what that's meant is we're doing more customs, just continuing Q&A. It's helping us button it all up, but like everything's built and ready. And
yeah, we can make it
whatnot.
more gooder.
Yeah. So, yeah, super cool. Well, I know we're running late and I am late to some internal hangs with a couple of folks, but maybe let's squeeze in one or two more questions and then we can maybe wrap it up for the day. Here's a good one. How are you balancing your day jobs with this massive project? This is our day job. This is, we are our own client here and whatnot. We're just treating Unfold as Dronies Unfold, the same thing as a client. So this is what we do. We're figuring out a little of the work-life balance of hanging out and chilling with the community and whatnot after hours as well. But that's where, community mods will help with that. And then let's see. What else do we have? What's another good one? Yeah, all of these there will be custom one of ones as we've seen with some of these like pop culture ones, but I would say 9,900 of them plus are going to be randomly generated from predefined traits. That's why it's a generative collection and really cool. And there's that randomization and rarity of what traits do you happen to get. And yeah, it'll be cool to see. We've been having a lot of fun. We have like a whole channel just dedicated to like the coolest ones that we spot that are randomly generated. And there's a lot of them. Yeah.
There's one about drive, man. What drives you?
Is it about power?
Yes. We stay hungry. One thing we do here at Unfold is we stay hungry and we devour and we take what's ours.
Beautiful.
No, but
Well,
but I like that one because we're legit. Like I was, I've been telling the team like this is literally one of the funnest like projects that I've ever been a part of because like we like I said we are our own client, so like we just like I said we want a bird with a steak knife. We can make a bird, like there's no one kind of tells us like, oh, like with client work, like they kind of like, all right, there's a lot of feedback here. I mean, there's stuff that has been put down and stuff like that. But that being said, like it's a passion project, legit. You know what I'm saying? We're like Peter said, we're not here for some like this or that. Like we're doing it because we're just having a heck of a time and just seeing like the community that's coming from this and just I don't know, everything that's coming from this is just so cool and it just inspires us more to keep going and we're just here for a good time.
Yeah. And I know, a lot of folks are asking like, hey, how do I get on the pre-sale list and whatnot? And this is one of those things that's going to become harder and harder as we get closer to kind of the end limit or number of people that we want on there. But the big thing is just be an active member of the community. And, we're keeping an eye and watching, who's attending streams, who's hanging out with us in Twitter spaces and asking questions, who's making an effort to be a part of the community and to help others. And you'll see a lot of names, flip colors to that early bird roll, and we'll reach out and get that information. But we don't want to. It's quality over quantity. We're not here to just the first folks to race to respond to a tweet or to do. We're not doing any shilling. There's no paid posts. There's no tag and tag 2 friends and retweet this thing. We're not doing any of that. So just be here, stay active. We're keeping an eye. We're calling out internally all the people that we see regularly, and that'll get rewarded. So it'll get a little bit harder as time continues to go on, and but we're watching all of it. And if you feel active, I'm sure we're going to see you, and you'll see that stuff start to flip over. So just keep being a part of the community, and we'll reward that and do things for others. Somebody timestamped our entire YouTube video for the stream that we did with Solana. Like, that was awesome and really helpful for people to find when did we mint and when did we talk about burner wallets and stuff. Like, that's the kind of thing that we're looking for people to do and be a part of that community. So yeah, and then why don't we do maybe one more question, and we'll see if there's another one that anyone spots in the doc.
I'm sorry, the Discord is absolutely hilarious
I
right
know,
now,
dude.
Yep.
and I'm getting sucked into it.
I'm literally typing that right now in our internal chat. Like, dude, the Discord is cracking me up, dude.
I can't.
Oh man.
Someone did ask if we've ever thought of making dronies into 3D art.
I think Alicia is working on a bit of that at the moment, and yeah, we are.
Interesting question.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that can be done here, and to do things right. So we're just, there's a ton of stuff that we can do, and we want to continue to hear, like, throw stuff in the suggestions channel, and especially as we're wrapping up some more of the customs. It's honestly harder for us to put in new character traits of items because that messes with our DNP list and the itemization of things. But if there's certain customs that people would like to see, let us know. And I mean, it's fun when we see requests and we're like, yeah, that's already in there. But there's still stuff that we can work on, and it'd be cool to see what everybody's looking for, and maybe it makes its way in there. So yeah, with that said, I think we'll kind of wrap up for the day. But again, go check out that Twitter post and see, and let us know, respond to that. Like, what type of contests do you want to see? Because again, we're going to do winners of actual mint tokens for that. So that'll be a free Droney NFT. And we're going to do them in a couple of categories. So, best animation or best illustration or physical, medium. We'll do like a fun award stream when we get back from the break. And we've got some other things planned too. So yeah, stay tuned. Again, thanks for everybody for tuning in and for being here, being a part of the community. And we'll all chat more soon, and do something cool.
See you guys later.
Thank you guys.
Don't forget to rinse your pizza.
Rinse your pizza. Get that pizza water, everybody.
Oh my goodness.
Gotta wash it before you eat it. That's all
Okay,
I gotta say.
okay.
All right, well, take care. I'm sure we'll do some more stuff before the full holidays, but if we don't see you, thanks everybody. Happy holidays, and we'll catch up soon. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
See y'all.